to Griffin Update Sports, a student-produced show all about Missouri Western athletics. We've got it all every week. Highlights, games, players, fans, and every sport all year long.
Welcome to Griffin Update Sports. I'm your host, Bailey Ketchum.
And I'm Jake Michael. In honor of the MLB playoffs, we thought we'd spice up our wardrobes a bit.
My jersey is better, obviously, but we'll get more into that later. First, we have a look at volleyball's weekend, the SAC Big Game event, and opinions about conditioning from all the teams.
We'll also have our sports trivia and the usual roundtable.
This week we're discussing, you guessed it, the MLB playoffs.
Oh, I know you're excited to talk about the Yankees. But before you get too excited, let's shift over to see how volleyball did this weekend. Reporter Miles Kilgore was there to catch the action.
On Friday, Western Volleyball hosted the rival Gorillas of Pitt State. Western got off to a hot start in every set, jumping out to an early one-set lead by the score of 25-12. The Griffins hit over 400 in their first set and limited Pitt State to an .091 hitting percentage. In the second set, Western cemented their first lead behind Rachel Loesch's team-leading 7 blocks to go along with 10 kills for the night. Stephanie Doak led the team with 10 kills and is now only 20 away from reaching the career milestone of 1,000 total kills for her career. As a team, Western had 10 total blocks over all 3 sets, while Pitt State was only able to get 6 blocks as a team.
This week we definitely worked on our blocking, and our blocking definitely improved with the stuff blocks and the positive touches for our defense.
Allie Taukin led the team with 13 digs, while Audrey Kime contributed 12 of her own. Western limited Pitt State's top hitter Lauren Reiger to only 8 kills with an .061 hitting percentage. Western was able to ring the bell and defeat Pitt State, moving the Griffs into 7th place into the conference. They will take on Washburn this Friday at 6 p.m. in Topeka. For Griffin Media and Miles Kilgore, I'm Dawson Whitman.
Another great win for volleyball. They're away next weekend against Washburn and Emporia.
For those of you that don't know what SAC is, it stands for Student Athlete Advisory Committee. It's a group of athletes that help the community and engage in bettering the student-athlete experience. This year, their focus is Griffs supporting Griffs. I was able to make it to their big game of the semester. Check it out. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee put on a big game for men's golf at the St. Joseph Country Club to bring out more student athletes and show Griffs supporting Griffs. The Griffin Cup is a new initiative this year to get student athletes at more sporting events. Derek Bradford, who is in charge of SAC's social media, talks about the Griffin Cup.
The Griffin Cup is a year-long SAC initiative to promote competition between teams and competition where to get points and to win, you have to support other teams. So the idea is you're going to be on Twitter tweeting out like good luck to a team before their game, good luck to a team before their match. You're going to show up, bring signs, be rowdy, you can get bonus points for that. You have brother and sister teams to kind of pair teams up so you're guaranteed there's going to be at least some team at your event. And it kind of allows for different sports to maybe get support that they wouldn't have had in the past. It's been really cool for me being the kind of the scorekeeper of it all, seeing all the tweets, and like from this morning at like 8 a.m. until probably tonight around 7, my phone will be blowing up constantly. People just tweeting about golf and good luck to them and wanting to support them, which is really, really awesome.
SAC Secretary Mackenzie O'Neill talks about what the big game is all about.
The Big Game and Griffin Games is an initiative we started this year based on concerns from student athletes last year of, not getting enough support at their events. So what we did this year with our Big Game is we chose golf as a sport that doesn't get a lot of recognition, and we decided to make a big event out of it. So we've got food served, we're giving out lots of bonus points for the Griffin Game, so it should be a really fun event.
Well, just watching the Griffs and great food.
Wow. You got some sports like golf today who maybe had never had fans at their event before but has fans today, which is pretty cool. It's just building that support network for the Griffs.
What do you enjoy about this event?
The free food.
Kind of thing. I went. That's it?
Yes.
I was Charlie Conway one year.
And all the golfers.
Had Mighty Ducks.
Go Griffs.
That's awesome to see all the support golf had at their tournament.
Hey Jake, what would you say was your least favorite conditioning you did for sports?
Let's see, football, 2-a-days, up downs. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, that sounds not so fun. I was able to talk to a player from each team to find out who has the most difficult workouts. This week, I decided to go around to each team to see who has the worst conditioning.
We show up and we have to do all kinds of crazy drills for like an hour and a half. We get a couple water breaks in between, but we're doing battle ropes, flipping tires. They bring the chains out, strapping harnesses around our shoulders. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff and just running up and down the field for a long time.
I would say the worst thing we do is either the treadmills at Baker. Usually we're running at like speed 10, incline 12, so that's never fun. As you fall off the back of them and struggle to maintain your life.
Doing suicides every 5 yards on the field and pushing sleds, doing the little rope things, and then just doing the rope sleds, going over the whole football field.
We do a variety of different distances. Usually hills are my least favorite.
You do an 800 and then sprints and then a 400 and then sprints and then another 400 and then more sprints and then more sprints. I think I even got it out of order, but it's just a lot of running.
Do Hell Week, where we'd push prowlers, toss ropes, throw balls, run until we puke. I think we had at least like 9 people puking every day.
We have to hit for 2 hours every night in the winter, so that's kind of a bummer. So no one really looks forward to that.
We do repeat 300s because we do not ever run further than 60 feet. So when you tell us to run 300 yards, it's pretty challenging for a lot of our team.
We do 20-10s, which you run to the 40 and back in 20 seconds, and you have 10 seconds of rest, and a 5-minute set is one set. We usually do like 3.
Tempos are a little dreaded too, just because they're long and fast and there's no real break. Tempos are probably a little bit dreaded.
We have to run and condition sometimes. Most of the time we just leave and do things in the weight room, but sometimes we have to run. It's like, oh, here we go.
I would probably have to say football.
I would say probably football or soccer.
Maybe soccer or track, because they do a lot of running.
Might have to say basketball.
Sweaty football players just grinding it out, and they're up at like 5 a.m. I think that would be the worst.
I'm just going out on a limb and say football probably has the worst.
I would say this year with basketball with Sundance.
I would say men's basketball. They're always in here before us, and I watch them and they just look like death every single day.
I would say men's basketball because on Twitter it looks pretty brutal.
Probably say men's basketball because Sundance works them boys, and I see them working at like 5:30 in the morning.
Basketball, they run so much every morning. We know that. We can see their faces whenever they go to the cafe, they're dying.
I'd agree with most of them that men's basketball probably has the hardest workouts.
Agreed. Ready for some sports trivia?
Of course. Per usual, we like to get out on campus to get Missouri Western students involved and talking about sports. Here's our segment, Do You Know Your Sports with Bailey Ketchum.
Today we're doing MLB Trivia. Can you tell me what division the Royals are in?
That would be the American League Central.
Who does Cody Bellinger play for?
The Dodgers.
You're right. Can you tell me what player fans say all rise for?
Aaron Judge.
Can you tell me why this playoff season is so special?
Because there were 2 1-6-3 games this year.
Who is the last team in the standings this year?
That would be the Baltimore Orioles.
Who is the home run leader this year in the MLB?
Chris Davis from the Oakland A's.
Who is the #1 team right now in MLB?
The Royals, of course. Y'all's baby.
Can you guys tell me what big game the Brewers just played in?
Wasn't it, it was their preseason game, right? And they hit that amazing touchdown pass, right?
Yeah. It was a pretty intense tiebreaker.
Yeah.
It was really intense. I mean, that touchdown was intense.
Very intense.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It always surprises me how many people know sports at Missouri Western.
I love being able to talk sports with people. We'll have more of just that in our Sports Roundtable after this break.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Jake and I are here along with sports reporter Dawson Whitman to talk about the MLB playoffs. Jake, what are your thoughts so far?
I think the Red Sox made a big statement in Game 3 against the Yankees, winning by 15. Sorry, Bailey. But, that was a big statement win. Telling the Yankees, hey, great, you're here. You got your one win, but I think we're top dog in this series. Again, sorry, Bailey. Brock Holt, how about that guy? Become the first player to ever hit for the cycle in the playoffs. It kind of reminds me of David Freese. He's hitting when it really matters. He's hitting really well in the playoffs. But I think pitching is very key in these playoffs, and I think the Brewers' bullpen is what's going to carry them a long way. 1.17 ERA in the NLDS. I mean, that's insane. 22 strikeouts, that's awesome. But it is a loaded pitching staff. Granted, it was against the Rockies, but that's going to carry them a long way. That's what's going to be key for them. The Astros, the Red Sox. If David Price can come up big in the playoffs, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and you mentioned that bullpen of the Brewers absolutely shut down. The Rockies came into that postseason on a hot streak. They had to play that 163 game. They did lose that. I wonder if that affected them at all, because they did lose that 163 in LA to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers went on to beat the Braves, and so they're moving on. And the bullpen of the Brewers absolutely shut down the Rockies. They couldn't get anything going. They were swinging at pitches 10 feet in front of the plate, above their heads. So that pitching staff for the Brewers is something to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're scary good, and I think that's going to take them a long way against the Dodgers. But I also think the Dodgers are a really good team. They're kind of like the underdogs, but I think they'll go far, and I'm planning on having them be in the championship. But, okay, I guess I have to touch on the Yankees. It was not the best,
Not
but
the best. They lost by 15.
Okay, everyone
in a baseball game.
Everyone has their bad games. But hey, they pulled off a win at the Red Sox Stadium, which I wasn't expecting that, honestly. I was expecting them maybe to go down 2 games and then have the 2 games at home and get both of those wins. But I have a feeling that they will, pull it together. But something that has been just off with them is consistency with their batting and honestly their pitchers. Bringing a catcher to pitch the last inning, that was kind of rough to see, but Sabathia pitching the next game, I think that he'll pull it off, and hopefully the bats and their offense all work together, and I think they can pull off the win against the Red Sox.
Yeah, big rivalry like that. Red Sox, Yankees, they play each other a lot during the season, so they know a lot about each other. Advanced analytics is a thing that'll get you a lot of wins. I think the NLCS is going to be a good one. I think that's going to be exciting. The Dodgers and the Brewers. That pitching staff for the Brewers against those sluggers of the Dodgers, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and back to your point about the Yankees, Sabathia, he's a veteran, he's been there before, and they need him to come up clutch in order to keep the series going, at least make it to that Game 5. And if they get the win here, then they got to go back to Boston, and you're facing Chris Sale, and that guy's a monster. Could win a Cy Young, and he had problems in the playoffs, but he turned it around Game 1, absolutely shut down the Yankees hitters. The Yankees came back from a 5-0 deficit to make it 5-4, ended up losing Game 1, but all their runs came off that bullpen, not off of Chris Sale. So if you get the win tonight, which you have to do, then it's going to be tough, but anything's possible in baseball, and that Game 5 especially, and like you said, that rivalry. So
yeah, you're right about that. I mean, they have to win. And Sabathia, haven't seen a start out of him in a while, and I'm hoping that, tonight's not his last game with the Yankees. I know he is a veteran, but I can honestly see him, moving on after this. But hopefully it's not his last game with the Yankees. I'm hoping he has some more. But let's talk about the Astros a little bit. I mean, they're obviously a very good team, defending champs. I'm hoping that the Yankees get to play them because I think the Yankees can shut them down. But if it ends up being Astros, Red Sox, I think that's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, I got to give the experience edge to the Astros if they do get that matchup. I think I'm going to give them the edge in the entire playoffs. I think we'll probably most likely see another rematch between the Astros and the Dodgers from last year. Again, that'll be a huge one. Again, they already know a lot about each other from last year. I mean, there's some minor changes here and there, but they're going to know a lot. So, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen.
And it all comes down to the starting pitching for the Astros, because Verlander right now is unstoppable. And then, of course, they are the defending champs. They have that solid core with Altuve and Springer and Correa, not to mention other guys like Gurriel. And they're really good. But the Brewers, you talk about a lot about the Dodgers. The Brewers remind me a lot of the 2015 Royals teams.
Hey.
They got a great solid bullpen on that back end with Hader and Jeffries, and man, it's scary. Like, we already talked about that a little bit, but then they have Moustakas and Kane.
A couple
So
of
Royals players, they've been there before. They're experienced, and they really have nothing to lose right now because everyone was picking the Cubs to come out of that division, and here they are, one series away from going to the World Series. So anything can happen. A lot of great teams in these playoffs, and even out of the American League, Red Sox, Yankees, Astros all won over 100 games this year, and so that's a tough division. Is that American League?
Yeah, all three of those teams, they're a force to be reckoned with. But the Astros, they're very young and just good, versatile team. And honestly, if it ends up being the Astros and Dodgers in the finals, I think the Astros will sweep that. But okay, you mentioned the Royals. You guys both wearing Royals jerseys.
Hey.
We did
What do you
this.
have to say about the Royals this season?
We're young, man, and we got our World Series championship in 15. They got rid of a bunch of young prospects in order to get that championship, so it paid off. They got a good core, and like Herrera and Mondesi, that kid's a stud.
For sure.
So, and then a couple of veterans like Salvi and Gordon. So, it's going to be a couple more years, and they're going to have to contend with like the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Astros. So, I think it'll be a couple more years, but hey, Kansas City, so I'll always be a fan.
Of course.
Okay, I'll give you guys that one. So, all right, final game predictions, final series. Who do you guys think is going to take it all?
I think we're going to see a rematch of Dodgers-Astros.
I think that's what's going to happen. My wants and needs or wants and what I think is really going to happen is kind of different. So I want the Astros and the Brewers to play, but I think it might be the Dodgers because they're so tough to play out in L.A. and traveling all back and forth to the coast and the Midwest between that. But the Astros, I think, are going to win it all because they have that great dominant pitching with Verlander and Keuchel, and their park is a small park and can hit a lot of home runs with their power. So
Yeah, I definitely think that the Dodgers are going to come out in that one, no doubt about that. But, I mean, I'm wearing a Yankees jersey. I got to say the Yankees. But if the Yankees don't beat the Red Sox, I think the Red Sox will come out.
Yeah, that's possible. They had 108 wins this year, which is their franchise most. And that's a lot of games. It's an old franchise. So for them to get 108 wins, that's a lot. It's impressive.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. After this break, we'll take a look at more results from our teams and this week's upcoming sporting events.
You're my advisor. Why can't you just pick my classes for me?
Look, I'm in a hurry. Can I just get my pen and go?
My brother's been here before, so he'll help me sign up for classes.
But your brother was a biology major, not an engineer.
Yeah, but he knows like everybody.
I'd like one more semester of easy classes.
What do you mean it's not offered until next year?
But it's been noted in the course catalog that way this whole—
But I need that class to graduate with my boyfriend.
This is a great degree plan.
Thanks. I made it in University 101. My peer mentors helped me a lot.
Let's use this time to talk about your graduate school track. Here are some internships and practica that you may want to consider. Also, we can start—
Take ownership of your education. Make the most of your advisement by being proactive, punctual, and prepared. You'll open the door to more personalized attention and avoid costly setbacks. It's never too soon to begin planning your next steps at Missouri Western.
Welcome back. Before we end the show, we want to give you more updates about what's going on with all Missouri Western sports.
Football took down Missouri Southern this weekend 33-10. Soccer went 1-1 last weekend against Fort Hays and Kearney, and cross country competed at the Emporia State Invitational. The women placed third and the men placed fifth overall.
For the upcoming schedule, football is home against Central Oklahoma for homecoming. Soccer is away against Southwest Baptist Friday and Missouri Southern Sunday. And women's tennis has a home match against Grandview University this Friday.
That's all we have for you today. For more information on Griffin Athletics, check out gogriffins.com. Also, check out Bailey's Sports Report on Griffin Update next week.
We've got you covered every week. From all of us here at Griffin Update Sports, thank you for watching.